Hold on to your butts, my friends, because I'm coming at you with the absolute latest news, and check this out. We've got a rookie turning into a beacon of hope, a veteran silencing all the haters, and a huge offseason pickup that's already become a massive headache before even stepping on the field. We saw it all this week with the Chargers, from a can't-miss roster move to a contract that already feels like a buyer's remorse, man. And believe me, the backstage drama is still cooking, with major trade rumors heating up and a completely unexpected name popping up on the radar. To top it all off, this offense is going to have to completely reinvent itself again because the O-line, it is hanging on by a thread. If you thought you'd already seen enough drama, wait till you hear what's coming next. But before we dive into this whole mess, you got to do the ritual, the real fans ritual. Hit that subscribe button. It's free and it fuels this crazy conversation we have every single week. Throw down a like to spread that Chargers pride, and for the love of the game, comment below. I want to know how you're feeling about this team. All right, let's dive into the fire. The week kicked off with the kind of whiplash that defines being a Chargers fan, pure joy and utter frustration in the same breath. Sports Illustrated dropped one of those lists that just messes with your pride, the studs and duds of free agency, and guess what? Our squad has a representative on both sides of the ledger. Keenan Allen was listed as a masterstroke. The dude came back on a one-year bargain bin deal for only $3 million, and he is playing like he's in his early 20s again. 33 years old, yeah, but the body and the instincts are still absolutely dialed in. Herbert keeps finding him on every single crucial third down, and that connection looks like it never went away. We're talking 29 catches, 289 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Anyone who doubted him is eating crow right now. But the same SI piece held nothing back. Najee Harris made the duds list, and rightfully so. Come on, man. The running back arrived as the presumptive starter, $9 million in his pocket, and everything started off wrong. A ridiculous fireworks accident on the 4th of July. Then he missed almost the entire training camp. He came back kind of forcing it, made the active roster, and bam, Achilles injury in week 3, season over. It's the kind of story that Charger fans recognize from a mile away, a massive promise that turns into a dumpster fire before it can even get going. To make it worse, the kid Achane and Hampton, the one everyone was calling a draft steal, stepped up, held the line as long as he could, but now he's also out with an ankle injury. And with no Slater and no Joe Alt on the line, this offense that started 3-0 is balancing on the sharpest of knives. I'll be honest with you guys, this shows two things. First, that Joe Hortiz totally nailed it betting on Allen's experience. Second, that not every market risk is worth the price tag. The fan base is torn. Some people are still defending the Najee investment, saying it was just bad luck. Others think his history already screamed trouble. I'm in the middle. Bad luck happens, but planning still matters. Now, one thing is for sure. Allen is shutting up the critics with pure class, and seeing him command the offense again gives you a warm feeling of the good old days. The atmosphere in the stadium shifts. When that guy is on the field, you can feel it. And hey, comment if you think the team should keep doubling down on this idea of betting on cheap veterans with gas left in the tank, because depending on what's next, the front office is going to have to make a huge decision. So hold tight, because what's coming next could completely change the Chargers' plans in the running back race. Now the temperature is rising because the trade whispers have officially caught fire. A lot of people are talking about Alvin Kamara, the Saints stud, as a possible target for the Chargers. But check this out. There's a new read on the situation, and it changes the entire conversation. The idea is that the team can, and maybe should, ignore Kamara if a certain name in Miami gets shopped around. Yeah, I'm talking about Achane. The guy is fast, productive, and to top it off, he's young. 23, right in the middle of his prime. He was a third-round pick in 2023, and since then, he's put up video game numbers. 5.4 yards per carry, 15 rushing touchdowns, and 12 receiving. That kind of efficiency plugs right into the Chargers' offense, especially with Herbert running the show. The problem? Achane is still a Dolphin, and they would only think about trading him if their record completely collapses after this weekend's game. Pro Football Network even put the Chargers among the 4 teams that would make sense in a potential deal. And honestly, it makes total sense. Achane still has a year left on his rookie contract. pocket change salary for what he delivers. And he would form a dream duo with the rookie Achane and Hampton when he comes back off IR. That would be the perfect balance of power and explosiveness. Now let's be real for a minute. Why not Kamara? Because the price would be way too high. Heavy contract, an older veteran, and a profile that just doesn't fit the team's current window. The Chargers are trying to build something more sustainable, and paying big money for a 29-year-old running back would be repeating mistakes that already cost us, like Najee Harris himself. To be frank, that sounds more like a move of desperation than a strategic play. The fans, of course, are already split all over social media. Some people want the splashy name, the Kamara effect, the guy who makes headlines. But there are also a ton of people who prefer Achane exactly because he's a bet on the future. And you know what's interesting? This line of thinking shows the fan base is maturing. We learned the hard way that not every star shines the same in Los Angeles. So the dilemma is set. Go for the expensive experience or the explosive youth. Me? I'd take Achane without a second thought. It's value for money, it's a technical fit, and it's a long-term vision. If the front office sees it the same way, maybe we'll see a trade that actually gets us hyped, and not another contract that weighs down the cap and does nothing on the field. But hold on, the best is yet to come, because the next one might involve a name that would give Herbert exactly what he's missing, a serious aerial weapon. If people were asking for a weapon for Herbert, the conversation just got a brand new chapter. And this one, if it happens, could be the kind of masterstroke that changes the whole trajectory of our season. Bleacher Report threw a trade proposal on the table that got everyone talking. The Chargers going after David Njoku, the Browns' tight end. The argument is simple. Herbert is missing a reliable weapon over the middle of the field. The tight end position has been a massive black hole, and the offense feels it every single week. Tyler Conklin hasn't delivered, and the rookie Oronde Gadsden is still finding his footing, so the idea of getting someone who's ready now with experience makes total sense. Njoku at 6'4" still has a ton of fuel in the tank. He's got 20 catches, 195 yards, and 1 touchdown in 5 games. Nothing insane, but considering Cleveland's messy offense, that's solid production. And here's the kicker. The young guy Harold Fannin Jr. is developing over there and should be the long-term starter, which opens the door for a deal. Bleacher Report even suggested the price, a 4th-round pick. Seriously, that's a steal if it works. And that's where the overlooked part comes in, the psychological impact. Herbert is the kind of quarterback who gets better when he trusts his targets. With Njoku, he'd have an athletic, reliable guy who is dangerous in the red zone. And if the fit works out, an extension in 2026 would be peanuts for the front office to pay. That's the definition of a smart risk. I'm telling you, I would love to see this offense with one more outlet. The defense is trying its best, but without consistent offense, we can't hang with the big dogs. And listen, the fan base is tired of seeing our QB's talent wasted because of a lack of support. This is the conversation that happens constantly in fan groups. Herbert needs weapons, and it's been going on forever. Sure, some people say investing in a tight end now is a luxury, that the real issue is the offensive line, but if we can address more than one need, why not? Njoku wouldn't just help with the passing game, he'd also help with blocking, something this team desperately needs. What's most interesting is that this trade wouldn't just be about talent, it would be a message. It would show that the front office believes in this moment and is willing to bet big on this offense. And just wait, because if this talk really heats up, the trade market is going to be tiny for all the speculation. Now hold your breath, because what comes next is heavy, and it involves the most critical part of this team, the offensive line. And we've hit the most stressful part of the week, the news that makes every fan hold their breath. The Chargers' offensive line is completely crumbling at the absolute wrong time. The final injury report before the Dolphins game was, to put it mildly, terrifying. Joe Alt, the standout rookie, is still not ready to play. He took off the walking boot, great, but he didn't even practice all week. Out. And it didn't stop there. Trey Pipkins, who was already filling in for Rashawn Slater, also missed the first 2 days of practice. Jamari Salyer, who could be Plan B, started limited, but then he vanished from practice. The only relief? Mickey Becton. Except the guy is going to play with a splint on his hand, so that's not exactly good news, it's just less bad news. The official Week 6 list looks like a hospital ward. Alt out, Pipkins out, Darius Davis out, and a ton of guys questionable. Salyer, Dupree, Perryman, Quentin Johnston. Even Coach Jim Harbaugh, sounding kind of desperate, let slip the idea of putting Becton himself to try his hand at left tackle. Are you kidding me? When the coach starts joking about that possibility, it's a sign that the whole plan is dissolving. The result of this? Herbert is going to step on the field with a line that absolutely nobody knows what it's going to look like. Last week, Austin Deculus played left tackle and struggled hard. We can't repeat that. The offense's confidence gets rattled, pocket time disappears, and even the playbook gets stunted. Can you imagine the nightmare of trying to rip a throw, knowing that any pressure could come from your blind side? To be straight with you, this is the kind of situation that separates the resilient teams from the ones that completely fall apart. And the fans know it. In the group chats and forums, the atmosphere is pure dread. Nobody blames the coach because, honestly, no offensive line can withstand this many injuries, but the fear is real. Without protection, Herbert is a sitting duck. What gets me is seeing this team with so much offensive talent relying on Band-Aids to hold a key game together. It feels like a repeat script. Injuries, improvisations, and all our hope on the quarterback's arm, except this time the margin for error is gone. And seriously, comment if you still believe this O-line can hold up against Miami, because honestly, what comes after this could define the course of the entire season. It's not over yet. The last part of this story ties everything together, the brilliance, the injuries, and the decisions that will absolutely shape the future of the Chargers. At the end of the day, this Chargers week was a mirror of the team itself. Talent, chaos, and that feeling that everything can change in a flash. Allen showed he's still the man. Najee turned into a bitter memory. The Achane rumor reignited hope. And the O-line saga has everyone on edge. But that's exactly what makes you a fan. This insane roller coaster of emotion and faith. And hey, if there's one thing this team teaches us every single year, it's that quitting is never an option. Comment below. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes the Chargers. Let's go.